Welcome to Citizens Dialogue. I am Kasitoni, joined by our analyst, Kings Ojalo. Today, we'll bring you the latest breaking news across Nigeria, from urgent update to insightful analysis. We'll guide you through the stories that matter most. Now let's get started. While leaders debate power, citizens bury their dead. Peter Obi slams federal government. Iran confirmed the killing of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. 2027, Tinubu is not our problem. Coming from the former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi. We'll go on a short break now. When we return, we'll dive into the discussion. Stay with us. Welcome to the show, Ojalo. Happy New Month.
Thank you, Cassie, and I wish you the same. It's a new month. It's a blessed day.
Yeah.
And with the trending news happening, we hope for the better.
All right. It's a beautiful day to us all.
Thank you
and
so
we hope
much.
this month will be amazing as well.
Well, we hope so. But if you look at the controversy that's happening everywhere, it's bringing fear to the minds of so many people.
Exactly.
So,
Talking about bringing fear to the minds of the people and all the things that have been happening, the former 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi said that the federal government, the leaders are busy debating and campaigning for 2027 election, forgetting the lives of people that has died. You know, he made mention of during the post, he actually posted this on his X handle and he tagged it "Politics of Zero Humanity." He said that for the past 2 months since 2026, they've recorded so many deaths, ranging from 1,000 and above, people being adopted. And then he made mention of the Benue, the Kwara, the Zamfara, Ondo, the Plateau, Kebbi, Ekiti State, all the crises that happened during this period. And he said that the government are busy campaigning for 2027, that they are not even sure whether they will witness the election. So let's hear from you.
Well, Peter Obi's statement has really gassed the air. It has really, finalize what any prominent Nigeria will also think about. You understand? It's a case of the politicians are after
2027 election power.
A program that doesn't actually matter for the now, neglecting what is really affecting the economy. If you recall, I made mention of something that the best way to campaign by our leaders is to really trash out the terrible things happening in the country, most especially in this crucial time. I think that is the best way of campaigning, and that is what the Peter Obi is trying to highlight, which many of them have failed to know. In a country where there's a population of 240.7 million people, which has also reached to the length of 242.2 million people, and we could see occurrence of death that has devastated from this so-called Boko Haram, ISIS, is what they call them, these bandits and thereabouts. You understand? Okay, in 2026 alone. Let's not even go far 2025. When Peter Obi actually came out, you understand, most times I read Peter Obi, people say, oh, it seems you are too political. You are trying to side one person. No. When you see a leader who is having a clear view of the current situation and how to tackle it, yes, this person is trying to, make sure that some people will say, oh, when he gets to that position now, it will change. His mind will glow to another angle, forgetting what is really affecting.
But you will not blame people for wanting to think that way, because a lot of these are leaders. They say something and
exactly
then when power is
yes,
given to them,
they use an administration of another to reflect on an incoming leader who is striving to take over power. So most times I don't really blame those critics. It is because of what they've experienced and what the economy is really telling on them. You understand? Okay, look at recent number of people that has died so far. There was an analysis state up that came, some data state up that came recently. In just 41 days. we've lost about 1,091 population that has died in this for the 1 day so far in this a few months that just passed. You understand? That has recorded so far just in few months of early this year. So what are we talking about? Why won't the ADC chieftain, that is Peter Obi, come out to lament on this? It's uncalled for with the number of population we have, but look at the kind of people that have lost their life so far. In Kwara State alone, 170 residents, we talk about Woro community and thereabout, people have been killed by gunmen. In Zamfara State, they've lost so far 38 to 50 people. In Niger State, okay, recently in Kasuwan Danji, about 30 people has been killed again. So what are we talking about? In Castina, the same thing. Recently in Duma village, 25 people were killed. Is it Kebbi? The adoption of girls and also the killing of one of their teacher, the school principal. Is it in Bornu? So what are we talking about? Instead of our leaders to find by all means possible to trash these bandits, to trash this, I call them insects on the society, to trash them out, they are busy, campaigning. Look at the so-called, what they call them. Is it a village, city boy movement and all about? The funds they are using to do those, empower that movement and thereabout. Why can't they, make sure that the armies are being paid, those who are risking their life on the war front on how to tackling the so-called insurgencies and killing in the north and also the north central? Why can't they make sure that every adequate facility, weapons that they need to tackle these people are well provided? Look at the sophisticated weapons that those bandits are holding. If you take a clear view of it, you will see how heavy their own weapon surpasses even the Nigerian military. So what are we saying? Instead of the federal government at this crucial time to make sure that those inner sponsors of, like I usually say, we all know that there are people in the political affair of Nigeria who are behind most of these bandits and ISIS. Instead of you to use your administration to make sure you fish those people in the parliament or anywhere they may be that are sponsoring these people so that peace will reign. No, we are busy, they are busy taking more enforcement on their 2027 political rally. And how then do you think when you come into power again, Nigerians will have full confidence in you? That is what Peter Obi is stating here, and it's true. And it's true. When they finish killing everyone in the country, who then do you want to rule? You understand? So our leaders forget the fact that these people are the ones who has what it takes, if not because of our judiciary and electoral institution have failed. Initially, then by democracy, it is the people who has what it takes to install a president, to install a political leader in a country. But because the country, from what it seems to be now, it has been hijacked totally by these so-called political, political hijackers and sabotagers. That is it. If not, they would definitely find means on tackling the rate of killing, putting it to an end in the country. But they have what it takes. They have other means that they can go into power without the election of the people. So that is why they feel so reluctant about it.
They have what it takes to stop these insurgencies. Are you talking about the financial aspects or
financial and everything? We've been having donations from the UA organization. Different countries, delegates has been helping. Come on, for God's sake, we have a whole lot of delegates. We have a whole lot of foreign countries. Is it Chinese? Even the Chinese who have been accused by the US of them sponsoring the bandits because they are protecting the so-called illegal mining somewhere in the north, have also come in one way to support Nigeria on still how to tackle this insecurity. Is it Turkey? Is it France? Is it there's no which country that is part of the UN organization that has not helped Nigeria financially and otherwise? But yet,
we once had this conversation, and you said that U.S. president coming, he has an ulterior motive for him to come into Nigeria. That probably he's coming for our oil.
Of course. Well, in that regards, when you say U.S. are coming to help, but at the same time, they will also want to get one or two things. They will want to live, so just like that. No, but the fact is this: when a country does not regard what they have and another country comes and see the usefulness of it, what do you expect? You understand? Even our refineries, how go and check it. How has Nigeria maintained it to sustain the lives of the Nigerians? How has it benefited Nigerians? Let's be honest with ourselves. A country blessed with oil resources, how has the poor masses benefited from it? People are still begging on the streets. People can't even eat majority of Nigerians can't even eat 3 square meals. So even if the US come and collect our oil, of course they deserve it, because we are not making use of it. Those who are to eat from that natural resources, that benefit, are busy dying on the street out of hunger. So leave that one aside. I think the federal government, if I were advise the federal government right now, they will see Peter Obi as an opposition and he doesn't have any right to speak. But it is a reasonable administration, or in this administration rather, we want to hearken to this, wake-up call from Peter Obi. But unfortunately, they will put him aside because he's in the opposition.
Talking about crisis, the Iranians has actually come out to confirm the killing of their supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. We could recall that this man has ruled for over 37 years because he ruled since 1989. And during this attack on Saturday, February 28, 2026, he was also killed in the process. Now, do you think, what is the impact of this war to the world? If you know that Iran is one of the major oil producers in the Middle East. So what is the impact of this war?
In the life of Khamenei, the supreme leader, yes, Khamenei, I think, recently, when Donald Trump made a speech, he made an offer, and from the offer, yes, everyone have the right on their own to do whatever as a sovereignty state or as a country to self-franchise or whatever. Yes, I think Iran were trying to prove their own power in terms of creating a nuclear, but forgetting that they are an Islamic state, and that was why Donald Trump was against it. Most of these Islamic nations, allegedly, I don't want to mention name and I won't want to say it's Iran. Most of them are being the backbone of most of the insurgencies and the terrorism activities most countries faced in the Middle East and here in Africa. So that was what the president is looking at. That is the angle he's looking at. Now, for an Islamic state, well known to be, the brain behind most insurgencies happening all over the world, trying to create a nuclear warhead. Come on, you should know the effects. He made a peace offer with the Iranian, even with the supreme leader that just passed. That, look, lay down your hand. Let's have a talk. Let's have a peace talk. You understand? I'm not, supporting. I'm not in the side of Donald Trump trying to take on all nations because they seem to be the world's most powerful military and known to be the world police. No, I'm not in support of Donald Trump going to countries, sovereignty, most especially sovereignty country, and try to put down their power or their supreme leader or their president. Probably because the president is accused of engaging in some activities that might cause chaos in the world. Probably, I'm not in support of that. But I think in this regards, I really side Donald Trump action. I'm not siding the fact that in the process of the attack or the killing of the supreme leader and some other high prominent generals and high stakeholder personas in that incident, that assassin that happened, and most especially his grandchild and thereabout, who also lost their life. I'm not in support of that, but the thing is this: I think it is time for the Iranians to have a peace, a dialogue. You understand? This is not the time for continuous violence because it's really affecting innocent life. If you check out the video clip, you could see how innocent lives were wasted. Bases being destroyed, you understand? And it even affected neighboring countries like the UAE, many countries who are not even, aware of the incident happening between Iran and thereabouts. So what am I trying to say in essence? The supreme leader, as, to me, I see the supreme leader orchestrating this whole menace. Because I think if the president of the United States had called you for a peace dialogue, It is best as a leader, because a leader who really has his people at heart will definitely look for means to have a peace dialogue with a country like USA. You could recall when President Donald Trump, tried to place Nigeria as a disgraced country, and also put them in a country of a particular concern. We saw the reaction of our president. People say, President Tinubu has gone to bribe US to pay them so and so amount so that the whole case will die. But let's be honest here. I think that action in most cases has sidelined some, great incidents that would have occurred in Nigeria. So I think the Iranian past supreme leader would have at least demonstrated a little piece of that, so that it won't be as worse as this. We're talking about military bases in that country being destroyed.
Okay, now are you
refineries being destroyed?
Are you saying that the Iranians supreme leader, his lack of concern, or the fact that he didn't react?
No, this is someone who doesn't want to give up.
The reason why Trump went to attack, or Trump is a man of, he says something and he doesn't like his ego to be trampled.
No, this is not about ego, Cassie. This is not about ego. This is about a situation that will cause great chaos. That was what Trump is saying.
Because Trump says something,
now a president, no. See, most times I don't support Trump, but I'll side him in this one. A president who really had ego rather, would have, without warning or anything, took a strike immediately. But he actually offered them a peace dialogue. He called for a peace dialogue. Let's talk.
Which they declined.
That's what we are talking about.
That's so the ego being trampled upon, because he's a man of, I'm saying I want to do something and you're feeling like Cassie, I cannot do it.
A lot of Middle East countries have participated or trying to create a nuclear warhead for a long time. Even the time of Barack Obama, in the case of Pakistan, there's no country in the world that don't have what it takes to create nuclear. Even Nigeria. If Nigeria should concentrate on it, we can create nuclear. We are talking about a country creating nuclear that might, at the long run, affect an entire civilization. That is what Trump is looking at here. He doesn't want a situation. See, Trump might be against a particular leader, but not against his people. If you could recall, in most of his statements, he has also told Iranians to please take caution. When this war is over, the people of Iran will take back power. I don't know if you understand. Now, looking at the actions of these past supreme leaders, when they were protesting, how can a whole leader take to the streets, capture those protesting, beheading them? Just imagine. It's just like example, in Nigeria, people are, although it has happened in Nigeria, let me put it down, we could recall the Lekki killing. But okay, let me use a state like Abuja or Lagos, Abuja for instance. People are protesting on one activity or the other. Then security forces capture them, behead them and say, okay, for this action you people have done, you'll be slaughtered, you'll be beheaded, publicly. That is what happened, and that is what Donald Trump is saying. So Donald Trump is not actually against Irania entirely as a nation, but against those leaders who are propagating the institution. That's what he's looking at here. So Donald Trump may be against the leaders, those prominent generals that just passed away, that also died in the assassination, but not against the people. We could see even in
so
some
your final thought? My
final thought is this. Well, I think when a country like US, because let's be honest, let's admit, US is a powerful nation. It's the most powerful nation on earth currently, military-wise, thereabouts. So when a country like US try to bring a peace dialogue to you as a country, to you as a leader, and you a leader who really wants chaos not to occur in his country and not to be affected by the people, we definitely should definitely go for a peace talk, so that there will not be further disaster in a country like that.
All right, so what do you have to say about the statement from former Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, one-time governor of Rivers State, that says Tinubu is not Nigeria's problem but the opposition members are? What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, well, Tinubu is not Nigeria's problem. That statement is kind of being a coincidence. At the same time, there are one or two that you could also catch from that statement by Rotimi Amechi. Now, Tinubu is not Nigeria's problem in the sense politically and from the opposition leader. Now, okay, recall what happened in Labour Party. Abure, if you could recall the action of Abure, I think that is what it's referring to, where a whole sitting chairman of a political party will be having we have to start having sidelines, underground, means on how to elevate or tackle your own flag bearer of the party flag bearer. You understand? And also causing, orchestrating activities that will disrupt the party system. Is it what is happening in the PDP? Look at Wike's activities now. You understand? A whole party having two factions, the Wike faction and the Turaki-led faction. So what are we talking about? So these are the things. A party who tends to, have what it takes to, make sure that the party stand, the party is united, for them to be able to have a true flag bearer that will represent them in an upcoming election like what is the 2027. Definitely. Why would they, you understand? They should know that that kind of party doesn't have any problem that, will really drag their name to the mud. Look at even APC that most Nigeria are against. Look at APC right now. Yes, they say when you are in the APC, your sins are forgiven, as we usually know. You understand? That because the present administration is in the APC, and that is why most candidates there are not giving bad record, or they are not dragged out or probed in one way or the other. Let's be honest. Opposition parties, most of them are not cooperative. I don't know if you understand. They don't have this cooperation. So that is why Amechi had to relate with this. He had to relent this issue to let Nigeria know that even the opposition of the Almighty All Progressive Congress, are still not having this so-called cooperation within themselves. I don't know if you know. So that is why I let Nigeria know that President Tinubu might not really be the problem. It is this so-called oppositions. You understand? If you recall when President Tinubu last week talked about, he's being blamed for, so many downfall of political party. He said when the ship is sinking and the sailors jump in, who he doesn't blame those who are leaving the sinking ship. Thank you for that. So what he's trying to say here is this. What Amechi is trying to say is that oppositions, if you know you really want to have, if you know you have what it takes to bring out this great administration out of power, it's simple. It's cooperation. They should stop pointing hand to President Tinubu or being the masterminder of trying to destroy other opposition parties and coalition and thereabout. Looking at what is happening in ADC, okay, look at el-rufai now. He's still in custody. His matter has even been taken to another range and thereabout. So as a coalition like that, there should be a means in which their partner should be set free from custody. You understand? So that is what he's trying to refer, that it seems other opposition and other coalition lack cooperation. You understand? And when there's no cooperation, when there's no unity, there's no way. In fact, there is no way. There will be no a strong power force to be able to bring down this great APC party.
All right, and that's it for today's edition of Citizens Dialogue. Thank you to you, analyst, for joining us.
Thank you, Cassie. Thank you for having me.
And to you, my viewers, for tuning in. I am Cassie Tony, reminding you to stay informed and stay ahead. Join us next time for more breaking news from Nigeria. A beautiful day to you.